President Cyril Ramaphosa has firmly ruled out the possibility of a referendum on the secession of any part of South Africa, including the Western Cape, saying such a move would be fundamentally incompatible with the country's constitution. The president made this clear while responding to parliamentary questions from Economic Freedom Fighters MP Thapelo Mogale, who asked whether Ramaphosa intended to hold a referendum to test public opinion on Western Cape secession, the creation of a Volksstaat for Afrikaners, or the independence of the Western Cape. In his response, Ramaphosa emphasized that South Africa's founding constitutional principles leave no room for territorial fragmentation. He stated that the constitution explicitly defines South Africa as one sovereign democratic state and that, as president, he is constitutionally bound to uphold, defend and respect the supreme law of the country. Ramaphosa said promoting national unity is a central responsibility of his office, and for that reason, he has no intention of considering or supporting any proposal that would lead to the secession of any part of the country. He added that he has also not been lobbied by any component of the Government of National Unity on the issue of secession or independence for any region. The president's comments come amid ongoing political debates around governance, accountability, and the structure of the executive, particularly within the Government of National Unity. During the same parliamentary session, Ramaphosa also responded to questions from EFF leader Julius Malema regarding the role and effectiveness of deputy ministers. Malema sought clarity on whether deputy ministers are formally delegated authority, whether they sign performance agreements, and what consequence management measures are in place for ministers who fail to assign duties to their deputies. These questions followed testimony at an ad hoc parliamentary committee where Deputy Ministers Kessel Matale and Polly Boshielo revealed that they had not been assigned any official functions by the suspended Minister of Police, Senzo Achunu. Those revelations reignited a broader public debate about the necessity of deputy ministers, particularly in light of the significant public funds used to cover their salaries, allowances, and benefits. Some political parties, including Action SA, have gone as far as tabling a private member's bill in Parliament calling for the abolition of deputy minister positions altogether. In response, Ramaphosa explained that there are 43 deputy ministers appointed in terms of Section 93 of the Constitution and that their role is to assist ministers in the execution of their duties. He said he has signed performance agreements with all ministers, and these agreements include specific indicators that require ministers to delegate responsibilities to their deputy ministers. According to the president, signed delegations serve as evidence that this requirement has been fulfilled. However, he stressed that the responsibility for delegating duties lies squarely with individual ministers, not the presidency. Ramaphosa said ministers will be held accountable for this during performance review engagements conducted by the president, and that it remains his prerogative to determine appropriate sanctions where failures are identified. He also noted that the costs associated with deputy ministers' travel and related expenses are reflected within the budgets of their respective departments, indicating that these expenditures are subject to standard budgetary oversight. In a separate but related issue, Ramaphosa declined to disclose how many members of his cabinet hold dual citizenship, stating that no such records are kept because dual citizenship is not a factor in cabinet appointments. He explained that the Constitution allows any South African citizen who is eligible to be a member of the National Assembly and who is not disqualified by the Constitution to serve as an MP and, by extension, to be appointed as a minister. Responding again to Mogale, Ramaphosa clarified that the Constitution does not require cabinet members to be vetted or cleared by the State Security Agency before their appointment. He reiterated that ministers are appointed either from among members of the National Assembly or, in limited cases, from outside Parliament in line with constitutional provisions. The president concluded by affirming that all ministers currently serving in his cabinet meet the constitutional requirements for their positions. His responses underscored a consistent message that constitutional principles remain the ultimate guide for decisions on governance, executive accountability, and the unity of the South African state.